Today's social media segment is brought to you by Terrebonne General Health Systems, modern technology and timeless caring. Rouse's, you're either local or you're not. Buick, the craft of modern luxury. St. Martin and Bork, know your rights.
Hey everybody, welcome into Bite Time News. Harry McCullough here. It happens a couple of times a year, and it's a big deal when you go by St. Charles and you go by 311 out there at Southdown Plantation. They have the big marketplaces. They do it a couple times a year. March 23rd from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. will be the next one, and it's going to be a big one as well. So we hope for good weather to talk about it, and we'll talk about here with Debbie Robichaux is the vice president of Southdown Plantation, and David Ellender is the president of the plantation, of the Southdown Plantation. So guys, thanks so much for being with us. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
You're welcome.
Yeah, we talked about this when you know it when you're driving around 311 or on St. Charles, you know when there's a market.
Oh, yeah.
How big are these events for you guys?
We have almost 5,000. If we have 5,000 attendees that are over 12
On an average.
Yeah.
On an average.
on a good day.
And booth-wise, you can have anywhere from like 240 to 300. It just depends. Spring is usually a smaller show.
Oh,
but even
the fall is the bigger one?
The bigger one, yeah.
Okay.
But to have, even that booth, we're one of the bigger shows in town. you
Yeah.
know.
Well,
Biggest
I know
variety.
we're a creative lot from around here, but I know people from New Orleans that will come down and
Sure.
pack up all their
Yeah.
stuff and come down here. So it's kind of a regional show, I
Right,
imagine, huh?
right. And we promote like all the outskirts of Houma, Raceland, Thibodeau. For the fall, we actually we received a grant to do advertising in New Orleans, Lafayette, and we had people from all over.
Oh, yeah.
We had a record crowd. yeah.
That's great. So let's look at that flyer, and it's Artesian Craft Show. So unique handmade crafts. And again, it'll be Saturday, March 23rd. So this is more kind of spring stuff, I guess, is probably Easter and that kind of stuff.
Summer,
too?
spring, summer.
Their merchandise has to be handmade. It can't be retail that they
Right.
bought and then they're turning it over or anything. So some of them we expect, okay, they can buy stuff, but then they alter it in their own way.
Sure.
So, yeah, that's why it's somewhat
So you can't
unique.
steal stuff from Target and just bring it out there and sell
No,
it?
No,
absolutely
no.
not.
I'm teasing.
Right.
But I know it's all good. So y'all have music, y'all got kids' activities. Those
Right,
kind of
right. We have the
Yeah.
petting zoo and little face painting and stuff for the kids to do.
I got you.
Band, we've had a band the last two, well.
And the band is
last-
going to be the Southern Drifters?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
that'll be good. And obviously there's always a good food court and all those kind of things
Oh, yeah.
as well. Hey, let's talk a little bit about the plantation. And David and Debbie, y'all would tell me. So y'all did have some damage during
Major.
the storm.
Major,
So
major
tell me,
damage.
how's the plantation? That's such a proud thing for us to see that off the
Oh,
highway.
absolutely. It took almost 2 years to do all the renovations from the storm. And we pretty much had to redo the whole thing.
We're partially.
Interior, exterior, roof, the plaster walls, floors. A lot of stuff had to be
Well, you wonder
redone.
how many hurricanes that place has seen.
Well, we had our grand reopening just in September of 2023. So it was 2 years that it took us, and we still weren't quite finished with everything.
And that's the inside and all that.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And,
But we were able to open the gift shop earlier and the office building.
So y'all
in the
still
back.
doing the tours now?
Oh, yeah.
and
Oh,
that kind of
yeah.
stuff. And
Yeah.
That's
people
growing
Tours
a
are better
lot.
than ever. I mean, lately, we're getting Canadians,
We have
Europeans from all over
French-speaking
the place
tours.
right now. I mean, this past week, I bet you last week, we probably had 15 Canadians come
Oh, wow.
touring.
So
And then yesterday there
Germany,
were
we had a
people
couple from
France.
Germany. I mean, France,
Yeah.
Spain.
that's pretty awesome.
We
And-
get people
and then
from all over the-
inside, your grandfather, right?
Right, his room,
has a
right,
nice
his
room
office
up
in
there.
Washington, yeah.
So that's Senator Alan Ellender. For
Right.
Don't know your lineage.
Yeah,
but that's your
yeah,
grandfather.
that's right.
So yeah, that's always a great way to see. What about Jim Bowie? Did he have anything to do with that?
He owned it for a bit.
So I'd never known that till about 3 or 4 years ago.
He got it, the family bought it after the initial owners had received it. These brothers had owned it for 31 years. They'd gotten it in the Spanish land grant. and they had to have a producing crop of something in order to get it, and they had to live on the plantation. And they were raising indigo. And then after 31 years, they sold it to the next person, and Jim Bowie and his brother bought it.
Did they ever live here?
Well, Jim Bowie was down Montague. He had down Montague too.
I got you.
And so I don't know how long he lived. I can look and see.
We always know the park, you know.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Right, but he was a part of the history of Southdown, the property.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And I'd never known that. And
Right.
yeah, obviously the Alamo is where,
Yeah.
where he's most famous for, right? And that knife, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was Jim and Resin Bowie who then sold the property to William Minor,
Right.
the descendants that we have now.
That's pretty awesome. So y'all do a lot of weddings. Y'all do a lot of things like that. A lot of the
Crawfish
beer,
boils,
the festivals, the craft
festivals.
beer. You know, I've been out there.
And a lot of these cook-offs.
cook-offs, gumbo cook-offs. and
Yeah.
stuff.
I mean, we have that year round.
We're
It's
always-
summertime, a lot of crawfish balls, company crawfish balls,
Right.
family reunions, weddings, yeah.
Yeah. So no, that's
We have a
always
nice
good one.
pavilion. Fortunately, the pavilion didn't have too much damage.
Right.
So we were able to,
To do all of those things, even though.
right. I mean, not right away, but we had to get the yard. I mean, we
Mm-hmm.
lost a lot of trees and branches, but once everything was cleaned up, we were able to rent it out or keep our commitments to the ones who already booked because it was presentable enough, you know?
Right.
So,
Right. So Debbie,
yeah.
what's the number one thing people ask when they come to the Southdown plantation? Why is it pink?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. That's the whole thing.
But that's the real color. I mean, that's the
No.
authentic color, right?
No.
No?
It was originally white, but we have the brick walls that are 12 inches thick and 18 inches thick around the house, and they were made on site. And the material they used to make it was blackjack, which was black clay.
right.
And they didn't put any straw or hay in it, in the mixture. But when they cured it or they fired it, the bricks, they turned red. And so they were red. They would put whitewash on the house and everything, but the color would bleed through and it would become pink. So finally, I think they just said,
Decided to paint
give it
it.
up.
Right. I thought it had to do with wasp, you know? I thought it was the pink and blue. Well, guys, thanks so much. March 23rd, we'll see you guys out there.
Right.
Thank
right,
you.
Saturday.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right.
We'll be right back. More Bayou time right after this.
It was great.